Hello, everybody. This is Keno Spring, the Vinci Realtor. And today I was supposed to have a guest, but things happened and he had to cancel. But I will be bringing him back hopefully next weekend, next Friday. Corey, he's an appraisal. And that's one of the things that even some of us, a lot of us in the real estate business really don't know much about. So I'd really like to have a conversation with him, today, but never mind. He will be on at another date. So stay tuned for that coming up. So today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what has happened a few days ago. The Federal Reserve dropping their interest rates, cutting interest rates by 0.5 point. And, that's been a big thing in the news. President Trump have been trying to get the feds to do that. The feds been doing what they do, looking at all their data, blah, 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 blah. But you're probably wondering, how does this affect me now that rates have been cut 0.25%? How is that going to affect me now that I want to buy a house? Well, I actually did a short video yesterday on this. But here's generally what happens. Mortgage rates aren't generally tied to when the Feds cut interest rate. It can help if the market adjusts pretty quickly. It can help where the rates might drop a little bit because rates are usually tied to treasury bonds and stuff like that. That's a whole other thing for another time that I might not be able to explain to you that you can understand, so I'm not going to try. However, the best thing to know about this is that it looks like the Feds, they are planning to drop rates 3 more times this year. So if they do drop rates 0.25%, 3 more times, then that would be a whole percent that rates will drop by the end of the year. That means the market is probably going to heat up come next year. Lower rates for your mortgage and stuff like that, because it generally takes weeks, sometimes months, for the average person buying a home to be able to feel that lower interest rate in the mortgage rate that they will lock in on their home. So what do you do? That's really is the question. Now that it's going to be dropping, what do you do? Do you wait till it drop all the way? That way you can, instead of a 6.5%, you can buy your home at a 5.5%, lock in a 5.5% rate instead of a 6.5% interest rate. That's really what it comes down to. What do you do? So I've been looking at a lot of different things. I listen to a lot of people, read a lot of different things. And even from the earliest days in high school, they teach you of supply and demand. It's very basic, supply and demand. The more demand there is for something, the higher the price is going to be because you got the demand. If you have a whole lot of supply and not a lot of demand, the price is probably going to come down. It's a seesaw. That's just the way it works. So here's what's going to happen with real estate. There are a lot of people sitting on the sideline right now waiting for interest rates to fall. A lot, because that's in their mind. They're thinking, I don't want to buy a house at 6.5%. I don't want to buy a house at 6.25%. That's too much. Those same people finance cars at 8, 9, 10, 15, 20%. I've been in the car business for a long time, so I've seen it. But remember this, everybody is waiting. And if everybody's waiting for the exact same thing, what do you think is going to happen? The price of real estate is going to go up. And even if the price itself does not go up, the concessions that you might be able to get from sellers are going to go away. We're just talking to one of my friends a few days ago, and he said when he bought his house a few years ago, he bought a new build. So he built his home from scratch, from scratch, not a new construction. And he asked that at that time, the market was really good. Sellers, had people want to buy their home, rates were good and all the good stuff. And he asked the seller, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And the seller looked at him like, no. Can I get this? No. Can I get that? No. The reason why, because if you don't want it, there's somebody else right then and there waiting to jump on it. That's not the case right now. You still have opportunities to get concessions and still finance at a reasonable rate. I have a client right now about to finance on a second home, and the rate is like 6.25, somewhere in that range. That's on a second home. But what they are going to be able to do is in a few months, early next year, possibly, maybe not early next year, but they're going to get to the point where they're going to get a good price on the home they're buying right now, get some concession from the seller, finance at a reasonable rate, and then later on refinance their home. That is a smart move. The people who bought houses within the last 2 years after the COVID debacle, fiasco, whatever you want to call it, those are the people that are sitting pretty right now, because they were able to negotiate really good prices, because they want a lot of people. The market wasn't that great for people selling their homes. It was still good, but not great compared to what COVID was. So those people were able to negotiate really good prices on their homes, and they finance at a higher interest rate. In some cases, 7.5%. I've seen 8%. But imagine this: that person who financed their home at 8% and got a good price instead of paying high price, that price is set. Their interest rate is set at the top, but they do have the option to, when rates go down, and we can tell they are going down, to refinance their home. In some cases, people are going to drop the rate 3 points. That's a big difference in a mortgage payment. Big. So back to what we started off. What do you do? Here's what I think you should do. That's my dog. You probably have an idea of what you should do. But here's what I think you should do. If you find a home, if you're capable and able, and you find a home that fits you and your family's needs, okay, and you can afford the home, it fits in your budget, buy the home. Buy the home, secure a good price, secure the concessions, all that stuff, and then later on refinance the home. It will cost you a lot less. It will cost you a lot less to refinance your home than what it is going to cost you when the prices go up, because there's a lot more people in the market. It does not cost $10,000 to refinance a home. It does not cost $6,000 to refinance a home. But if you wait, you'll get the lower interest rate, true, but you're going to pay that house that is now $400,000 when everybody comes into the market because rates are lower. That house is then going to become $450,000, $460,000. So you got a lower interest rate, but then you got to pay $450,000, $460,000 for the house. Is the house going to appraise? If it doesn't appraise, then you got to bring cash to the table in order for you to buy the home. Whereas right now, sellers will, in most instances, I have not seen within the last year where a seller has refused. That's my dogs. I'm sorry. Hold on. I have not seen within the last year and a half probably, where a seller has refused to pay to help with concessions, closing costs, different things. Because everybody's winning. Everybody's winning right now. Sellers are still getting good prices. In some instances, still multiple offers, but not the crazy nonsense from COVID days. So again, find a home that fits you and your family's needs, buy the home, and refinance later on. That is your best strategy right now. If you plan to wait, by all means wait, but do not wait. Do not wait. It's going to cost you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to wait for interest rate to go down instead of buying now and then refinance. It might cost you $2,000, $3,000 to refinance your home. Other numbers, depending on the size of the house, not the size of the price of your house. Don't wait. Hey, listen, Again, like I said, sorry I didn't have my guest this week. Things came up. He's going to make it, but we're planning to have him on. Try and have him on next week. That'd be a really good topic. Appraisal. I don't know exactly what goes on in it. Most of you are not going to know, but he's going to help us truly understand what it means when somebody say you're going to get your home appraised. All right, listen, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for checking in. And as usual, if you got any questions, whether you're about using me or not to buy or sell a home, reach out. I'd be glad to answer it. My number is 901-301-4912. Or you can reach me on all my social media channels. Everything is Keno Spring. On all my social media channels, just Keno Spring, and you'll find me there. All right. Look forward to seeing you guys next weekend, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.